coffee pods. None of your instant rubbish. Oh no, that's no good enough for Madame. Ooh, instant, that's so 1970s. We only drink pods now. Nicaragua, as this one's called. Although she doesn't pronounce it that way. No, it's Nicaragua. I thought she was having a stroke the first time she said it. Is that you alright, Henny? You want me to phone the doctors for you? What's the number for Bupa? 10, 10, 10. One more, one louder. Ooh, very droll, Senga. It's like being on a night out with Oscar Wilde, though that remark was more shaving than wilding. Very pithy. I thought she was taking the pith. She's what we'd call a wee bit pan-loafy. Although no anymore, posh people don't buy pan loaves. It's people like myself that buy the pan loaves. No, posh people wouldn't be scented with pan bread. It's all sourdough, don't you know? Sourdough. Sourdough. Sour. Doesn't it sound exactly appetising, does it? She's away to her Pilates class. That's why I'm having a skive. Ooh, I must work on my core, chow for now. It's like your core, should you not be going to the Apple store for that? They've got all the latest gadgets in the house. Madame has all orders. Hi-Fi, Wi-Fi and every other kind of fi. A big fuck-off telly the size of the wardrobe in my house. State-of-the-art kitchen as I described it. They deal with their food preparation on the island. It's like that. Have you got a hoose in Rossi? Well, apparently, the bit in the middle of the kitchen with the worktops is called an island. Every day of school day, yeah. They also take in the telegraph. Says, do you not pay for that? No, Senga. It's the only reliable Conservative newspaper. We get it delivered. My Malky, he votes Tory, or the Unions Party as he calls it. Oh, he votes for his Queen and country. But my Malky's all hot and bothered, worrying about his Queen, and Madame here's like the lady in waiting. Her husband speaks with a wee bit of an accent. I thought he was asking me if I was comfortable around white goats. I was thinking to myself, is he looking for a cleaner or is he looking for a shepherd? Turns out we've seen white goods. They're wanting me to defrost the fridge once a month. Just as well I didn't buy that shepherd's crook. Then again, it might have come in handy if they wanted me to dress up as Bo Peep. Maybe that's what he was hinting at. This job's a doddle though. She cleans it before I get here. She'll know how me talking about her keeping a manky house. It takes me 10 minutes to clean the place. Then I skive and watch a big telly. It's an in-house entertainment unit, Senga. It's just a big telly. You can see that Holly Willoughby's crow feet and that partner of hers, wee grey boy. I said grey, no gay, although I knew that ages ago. Thought it was a wee bit light in his loafers. Known a showbiz way. Oh, my Malky doesn't like them, the gays. He's always going on about them. I think he does protest a wee bit too much. Though I'm not going there, no after the last time. Oof, hates the Catholics too. They're all gay, especially the priest, he says. But he doesn't use his words are a lot worse. Black affronted sometimes. My neighbour's one. Catholic, I mean, no gay, and then again, he might be one. My Malky's always going on about them, especially at 5 o'clock on a Saturday night. Ah, no, I wasn't happy when I took this job. He says, you're not walking up that hill at Bearsden. You need to get past that college at the top of the hill where they teach them how to be pedos. I was like, I don't think that's on the curriculum for the priest college. Anyway, it's not there anymore. It's moved up to that big place up in Baljaffrey. Purpose built, he says. That's where they'll have the wee dungeons and wear gimp masks and perform ceremonies where they swing the big metal balls burning incest. Incense, you muppet. Says, don't call me a muppet. They're all green and felt, just like the altar boys. Has a wee chuckle at himself, saying that's a good one. He says, I think I'll call them all Kermits and snooker tables, that'll confuse them. Especially him next door. Says he's an ex-Catholic. He says, I don't mind ex-Catholics. At least I've seen the light. So, you're pro-ex-Catholic, I says? He says, aye, but I don't think you call them that, you call them lapsed. So, you're pro-lapsed? He didn't laugh. Ah, seen the wee ad in the shop window at the 10 o'clock shop. Cleaner wanted, must be flexible. I said in my interview, I said I'm a good cleaner, but I can't do yoga. And as for Pilates, well, I wash my hands of that. He didn't get it. Although Madame Doesn't call me the cleaner. No, she tells her friends. She's a lady who does. I was surprised it was him that took the interview as well. I thought it would have been the lady of the house. It's quite in depth as well. Says if you get a CV, I mean I can't even spell CV. They say, first they asked me for a resume. I mean, is that yon thin soup you get at the posh places? Well, he says it doesn't matter about that. He says as long as you can name me 2 referees. I mean, I can only name you one. The only one I can remember is Hughes. But then again, I think he's retired. Although his son, I think, is a ref. If my memory serves me right. But I couldn't name you any more. I know a few of them have Irish names because my Malky's forever shouting at the telly. Go back to your bogs and munch your totties. But I couldn't name them. And then he says to me, Senga, is that Agnes backwards? I was thinking, is he talking about the wee lassie Agnes up my close? I said, she's not the sharpest tool in the box, but I wouldn't say she was a backwards. And then he asked me about my measurements. So what do you want to know about my measurements for? So we can get you a uniform. A uniform? You want me to dress up as a wee French maid? Maybe, he says. I've started drinking their posh coffee now. It was always a tea with me. You're right wee tea, Jenny, my Malky would say. You're not too bad yourself. He said, you think you'd be scunnered with all that tea after a full day of skiving? You still have the capacity of another couple of cuppers when you get home. I could drink any old kind of tea, didn't matter what brand it was. But no Malky. No, I had to be PJ Tips. Until some bright spark in his work told me that PJ stood for Papy Screen. Then he insisted I buy Tetley. Though that didn't last long. He says the wee guy in the Tetley box remembered him with his gaffer on the night shift. The one who tried to get him the sack because he caught him sleeping. Didn't look good for a while. Especially since he had his pyjamas on. But the shop stewards, they argued his case. Said that the gaffer had something wrong with his eyesight. I wonder if that's why he's got the wee glasses on in the Tetley box. They said it wasn't the pyjamas. It was a pinstripe summer suit he was wearing. My Malky told me to stop buying Tetley after that. Now we only get an hour for typhoon. I do the big clean ones to hear. The spring clean. Although it's nearer the summertime the time I get on there. I had a right laugh last year with his nibs. Said it's quite appropriate, it's the 6th of June. Why is that, he says. I clean the BD on the D-Day. I've not had many dealings with him since after the interview. It's always just her. He's always too busy, I think. But as the months went past, he started to open up. A wee quick hello as he's come past me. Then he started to try to tell me some jokes. Try being the operative word. Cleanliness is next to godliness, he says one morning. But only in the Irish dictionary. I didn't get it at first. I hadn't heard an Irish joke in years. My Malky used to tell them. Though I don't think it tells them to me. I wouldn't listen anyway. Aye. Maybe he was trying to find out if I disliked the Irish. Or he was just making a cleaning related joke. But he soon ran out of them. Then his jokes got a wee bit more ruder. I think he was trying to make me blush. But I gave as good as I got. Said to us one morning, we had a lovely couple round for dinner last night. We served them palate cleansers in between courses. Do you know what a palate cleanser is, Senga? I says, my Malky takes his empty pallets in his lorry back to base after his shift. But I don't know if they get somebody in to clean them. No, Senga, I refer to the palate of the mouth. Anyway, I say to the young lady, have you ever had an amused bush? Well, did she blush? I was like, well, did she? It's been years since my bush has been amused. He started to blush. But I'm always willing to try. Unlike Mrs. Thatcher, this lady is for the turning. He definitely blushed then. Then it was Madame's turn. Nearly every sentence that comes out of her mouth is an innuendo. She told me a joke that she just heard. A woman walks into the bar and asks for a double entendre, so the barman gave her one. I pretended I didn't get that. If you get into the Peel bar and ask the barman to give you a lager tops, Says we don't do cocktails. No, Senga, you didn't get it. She had sex with the barman. I mean, that still wouldn't happen in the Peel. The barman's engaged to my niece. I'm sure under the union of barmen, they're allowed to play away. If he played away, he'd be joining the union of eunuchs. If you don't get yoga, Rigotti. It's not yoga, it's Pilates. And my instructor's unwell, he's got a tummy bug. I mean, that's a pity, is he rotten to the core? Oh, she's known her gym bunny gear the day. No. She's got a leopard skin top on. It's all open to the top so you can see her line. She looks like B.A. Baracus. I pity the fool that's going to take her on. These skinny jeans are Georgie or Armani. I says my outfit's Georgie or Asda and a man's t-shirt and a pair of jeggings. What are jeggings, she says. I mean, they're a mixture of jeans and leggings. A hybrid, a bit like your motor. See, when I first started, she used to smoke these minging fags through one of these cigarette holders. She thought she was Audrey Hepburn. She looked more like Cruella de Vil. Now she's vaping. Oh, this is pure menthol. That's the offices. I've tried this one, Deja Vu, I think it's called. I think I've heard of that. She's writing out decanting now, to make sure all her crystal decanters are all clean, so she can put her cheap wine out of Lidl into it, and her posh decanters. It's to let it breathe, she says. You couldn't let that cheap plonk breathe if you gave it an asthma inhaler. She's forever remembering me to take out her bins. Except on glass recycling day. Oh no, she'll not like me to have a look at her cheap wine bottles. I have to make sure the spare room's spotless. She's got guests over this weekend. I know what sort of a party she's having. A few weeks ago she slipped in at the conversation. Have you and your husband ever been swingers? I says, my Malky once threw the baton up on the Orange Walk. And when I was a teenager, again at the semi-finals of the Strathclyde Majorettes tournament, she pretended to laugh, but I think she was sounding me out. I was quite naive about sex. Only found out what a gimp mask was last week. Then I found one in Madame's bedside cabinet. Getting right into these now. Have I told you, laddie, that I love you? Their conversations are getting bolder and bolder. They're always asking me about me and Malky's sex life. I says, we've been married for 25 years. We don't have a sex life. Well, it's life, Jim, but not as we know it. We used to date twice a year, once at Christmas and once on his birthday. But not on my birthday, you understand. All I got was a box of milk tray and a pat in the head. But it was a wee treat on his birthday. That was the problem. His birthday was in December. So he only had a fortnight to recover before he was on it again on Christmas morning. And then it was down to once a year. Although even at that, once a year, sometimes he wasn't even up for that. I remember one year he put his back out putting up the Christmas tree. That was the last of his shiny baubles. Shiny baubles. And then it was every 4 years. The only thing is, I can never remember if it's on the World Cup or it's on the Olympic cycle. I should probably make it in the Olympics. That way I can give him a wee gold medal in the shape of a chocolate coin after it. Unfortunately, it was always gold, never silver. He always came first. She's always asking us about my sex life, asking if I ever got up to anything kinky. Do we ever dress up? I says, sometimes my Malky puts on his orange sash and his white gloves. Once they wanted to put on the bowler hat as well, but I drew the line at that. I would have felt as if I was being pumped by Mr. Ben. Then she asked me, have you ever used anything leather? I says, the only leather thing I've ever took to my bed is the first edition of the Count of Monte Cristo. Malky usually asks me, are you still reading that about that Count from Monte Carlo? Although he doesn't pronounce it Count. He's got a heart of gold, really. He'd do anything for that wee nephew of his. He dotes on that boy. Although, he's a right tight arse with his money. His nephew asked him for the new Rangers tap last year. He says, how do you no wait until somebody gets knocked down, run at the accident hotspot round the corner, and I'll get you a new Rangers tap and get your auntie a nice wee bunch of flowers. I says, what if a Celtic supporter gets knocked down? They never get knocked down, he says. They're too busy looking left, right and over their shoulder, worrying in case the parish priest pounces and tries to pump them. Why are you so interested in my Malky? I asked her. At least he cares about you. Is everything no rosy in the garden of you and Ali? I'm never good enough for him, or even enough, she says. What do you mean? He's insatiable, she says. I just leave it hanging there for a few moments, till she sees a quizzical look in my face. Insatiable? It means I can't keep up with all his needs. His needs, I says. Has he got a lot of needs? Yes, of course. That's how I met them, she says. Them? Yes, his first wife, she says. His first wife? Marjorie. Marjorie? She sounds as if she needs something. Where is she? She's passed over. She Jewish? No, she's dead. She's dead, I says. She did have needs. How did she die? A heart attack, I think. You think? Well, he wasn't quite clear about it. Ali was under an awful lot of stress at the time with the shop. Were you there when it happened? No, it wasn't one of my days. One of your days? I only came in 3 days a week. Why did you only come in 3 days a week? I was a cleaner. I don't talk about it much now. Malky always asks, but I never gave him any details. I just said that his name's Ali. Malky just presumed that his name was Ali, spelled A-L-L-Y, short for Alistair. I wasn't telling him it was spelled A-L-I, or he would have changed into his favourite boxer and went 12 rounds with me. See, Malky's one of the ones that always says he's not a racialist. It's funny how a racist can't say the word racist. The proof is, he always gets his fags every day for the corner shop. Though he doesn't call it the corner shop. He calls it what we used to call it when we were growing up. It's a shame some people don't grow up. I don't mean that Peter Pan way. Malky says, I'll call it what I've always called it. I don't care if it's PC or no. And if you don't like it, you can all bugger off to your PC world. I did try to dig him on it, but it was no use. I said he's for Pakistan, he's no for India. Doesn't matter, he says. I mean, how come some people from Pakistan seem to have shops and other people from India have restaurants? He says, I don't go to the Indian restaurants, I go to the chicken. Stop right there, I said. He always knows how to wind me up. Can always find the chink in my armour, so to speak. So you see why I didn't tell him that I worked for Ali, spelled A-L-I. They've been asking me to stay behind now and again. Why don't you have a little glass of wine with us? A little glass, more like. Of course, it always gets round to talking about sex. My wife has a Brazilian waxing, Ali says. Really? Have you ever seen a Brazilian waxing? Says I. There's a figure of Pele and a football strip when I went to visit Madame Tussauds. This is a different kind of strip. It's one where you can see all of her genitalia. Her genitalia? Have you got that in the display case in the living room? Brazilian wax. Is that a furniture polish you want me to use instead of Mr. Sheen? No, you don't understand, Senga. It's for our bedroom antiques. Have you never tried cunnilingus? I says, no, my Malky only uses the one with the orange logo on it. EasyJet. He'd never use any of the Irish Airlines, like Ryanair or Cunnilingus. So after a few glasses of their cheap plonk later, they showed me what a Brazilian waxing was. It was a right eye-opener. Seen Malky for the first time in months last week. He's like to me, look at the state he is, that the way he likes you to dress. And he's 50 shades of the love nest at Ali Bongos, he says. He says, I'll dress how I want to dress. And it's no a love nest. Well, actually, it is a wee bit of a love nest. Ali's opened up a whole new world for me. And I mean that in every sense of the word. I don't leap into the bed once every 4 years. Now it's every night and sometimes during the day. In fact, I'm falling behind with my daytime telly. I say to Malky, I'm a new woman. I finally found me. It was completely different when I was with you. I've been to paradise, but I've never been to me. Malky says, I never took you to paradise. I took you to Ibrox once. I've never been to paradise. It doesn't matter about that now. The important part is, I finally found me. You always said no, but now I always say yes. I am now a lady who does. I've become insatiable. Sometimes Ali can't keep up with me. He bought me a little friend last week. He says I have to use it for self-therapy. In fact, I've got a spare 20 minutes before I have to go out the door. I'm going to put an ad in the shop window. We need a cleaner. Anyhow, mustache. Alice has to find her way down the rabbit hole. Run, rabbit, run, run, run. He'll get by without his rabbit pie. Run, rabbit, run, run, run. Zzz.